In the heart of the bustling city, where skyscrapers loomed like sentinels of ambition, Kendra's father erupted in fury. His voice echoed forcefully in the plush setting of his opulent office, a place filled with grandeur and palpable tension. "You're seriously choosing a farmer over your own flesh and blood?" he raged, his words slicing through the air like a cold wind. "Have you lost all reason?" His fist collided with his polished oak desk, sending a resonating clatter across the room, shaking his coveted CEO award perched precariously on the shelf. Kendra's mother, elegant and composed in her tailored attire, dabbed at her tear-streaked face with a delicately embroidered handkerchief. Nearby, her younger sister Natalie observed with wide eyes, disbelief etched into her expression as if Kendra had sprouted an additional limb. At 32, Kendra Hayes had finally unearthed the courage to chart her own path, one that deviated drastically from the luxurious expectations of her family. Having spent years as the quintessential corporate scion, an alumna of Harvard Business School, vice president at Apex Ventures, she was now choosing authenticity and love over affluence, a decision that hurled her family into utter turmoil. "He's not just any farmer," Kendra countered, striving to keep her tone even. "Dylan operates a flourishing organic farm in Willow Valley. He's well-educated, dedicated." Her father interjected, his voice slicing through her defense. "And while you've been mastering the art of multi-million-dollar mergers, he's been, what? Learning to plow fields and collect eggs." His disdain was palpable. "Is this really what you wish to trade all our efforts for life as a farmer's wife?" The irony was not lost on Kendra, having met Dylan Foster at one of her father's illustrious charity galas. He had been a last-minute addition, stepping in for another dignitary who canceled. Among the crowd of men trying to dazzle her with financial successes and luxury escapades, Dylan stood out. He spoke passionately about sustainable farming and small-scale agriculture's vital future, topics that resonated more deeply than stocks or vacations ever could. Kendra squared her shoulders, determination solidifying her resolve. "I'm moving in with Dylan next week. The wedding is set for 3 months, and I hope you'll join us." Her father's voice turned icy, gravely final. "If you walk out now, forget your role here, your trust fund, everything." Gazing one last time at the meticulously arranged family photos and the sweeping views of Charlotte outside the window, the life she was expected to worship, Kendra placed her company badges and credit cards on her father's desk. "Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye, Mom." "Natalie." Her footsteps echoed sharply on the marble as she departed, while her mother's muted sobs and Natalie's incredulous whisper followed her, fading into the background. When Kendra shared with others that she left behind a 7-figure salary and a prime office suite for a farm simplicity, they often concluded it was lunacy. Yet the truth was that residing on Dylan's farm had granted her a tranquility unseen in her 2 decades buried in corporate confines. The initial adjustment was jolting, swapping her electric car for a vintage truck, designer heels for sturdy boots, her sleek city apartment for a rustic century-old farmhouse. The recollection of assisting in a midnight cattle birth had shocked her system, yet also filled her with a newfound sense of purpose. The chill of the morning air brushed against Kendra's cheeks as she stood on the farmhouse porch, contemplating the drastic changes in her life. Gone were the days of chauffeurs and penthouse views. This was her reality now, a world grounded in authenticity and purpose. Despite the dozens of messages her mother sent filled with matchmaking suggestions and her sister Natalie's persistent emails about open corporate positions, Kendra felt a profound sense of freedom away from their influences. Her father, ever silent, expressed his disapproval through his secretary's monthly reminders of what she'd left behind, the trust fund, the connections, the life they envisioned for her. What remained unseen by her family was that Dylan Foster was not merely a farmer working the land. He was an innovator with degrees in agricultural sciences and business management. His organic farm supplied exclusive restaurants across several states, transforming a once struggling farm into a beacon of sustainable agriculture. To her family, however, success was measured in board meetings and fiscal returns, not in the richness of the soil or the vibrancy of life Dylan cultivated. Wedding invitations had been dispatched the previous week, their responses revealing stark truths. Her mother returned hers with a note heavy with disapproval, unable to witness what she termed a fall from grace. Natalie at least called to softly decline, citing a conveniently timed business trip. Her father's response came not with words, but with silence as he returned the invitation unopened. As Dylan prepared to review property documents with Kendra, something unusual caught her attention. The farm's boundary stretched wide, including an untouched expanse of lakefront land, a parcel her father had long coveted for his ambitious resort project. Dylan mentioned casually, "Your father's been trying to acquire it for months, offering far more than it's worth. But my grandfather always vowed it would remain agricultural land. It's some of the finest in the region." Kendra paused, the revelation sinking in like an unexpected change in weather. Her father's grand resort plans depended entirely on this land, owned by the very man they dismissed. She didn't reveal this to Dylan immediately. The reality of this twist left her needing time to gather her thoughts. The next morning, immersed in routine farm chores, Kendra answered a call she'd long anticipated. Her mother's voice, suddenly warm and sugary, spoke of reconciliation and invited them for dinner. Almost dropping a basket of eggs, Kendra sensed manipulation behind the veneer of acceptance. Her father's voice chimed in, urging them to reconnect as a family. Accompanying Dylan in the office that evening, she observed his focused dedication to crop rotations and sustainable practices, completely unaware of the power he wielded over a multi-million-dollar development. When he glanced up, smiling warmly to include her in future plans, Kendra hesitated before sharing, "They've invited us to dinner. I suspect it's more a business outreach than a familial one." His surprise was palpable. "Really? What sparked this sudden interest?" Kendra took a steadying breath, preparing to lay bare the family's ulterior motives when Dylan's phone buzzed, interrupting her revelation. It was his lawyer, relaying another elevated bid from Kendra's father. Dylan, resolute in his vision, declined as always, unfazed by the escalating offers. Watching the entire exchange, Kendra confessed, "That resort, it's my father's dream. And without your land, it remains just that, a dream." Dylan mulled over this, surprised by the woven complexities, yet he met Kendra's guilt-stricken gaze with laughter that was rich and genuine. "So, that's why they're suddenly eager?" he mused. Through the weight of the moment, Kendra marveled at his ability to find humor amidst the tangled dynamics of family and ambition. It dawned on her that this was the authenticity she craved, a life built on genuine connections, not corporate maneuvering. Under the vast canopy of the night sky, dotted with stars that seemed closer than ever, Kendra felt the weight of swirling events bear down on her. Her heart held a conviction steadfast in its path toward truth and honesty, unlike her father's aggressive strategies masked in charm. For months, he had sent offers to Dylan, never hinting at familial ties, perhaps too proud to acknowledge his daughter was bound to the very farmer refusing his glittering enticements. Dinner at the Hayes estate unfolded as a spectacle of pretense, orchestrated with precision by Kendra's mother. The fine china gleamed, fresh florals scenting the air, and even Kendra's childhood favorite dessert made its nostalgic appearance. Her father, with his corporate charisma and winning smile, greeted Dylan with an overly warm, "Dylan, my boy," echoing the manipulation he reserved for skeptical investors. The ambience of crystal chandeliers and floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing Charlotte's skyline did little to ruffle Dylan. Confident in his casual ensemble, he complimented Kendra's father, "You've got quite the roses, Mr. Hayes. But you might want to handle the black spot issue I noticed coming in." Her mother's surprise choke on her wine betrayed the pride she took in her garden, met here with an unexpected critique Dylan delivered with understated authority. As dinner progressed, her father deftly steered the topic to business. "Dylan, your sustainable farming techniques are impressive. Have you thought of expansion backed by the right partners?" Dylan, unfazed, returned the volley with a composed, "We began working on a new greenhouse last week. It's all self-funded, of course." Kendra hid her delight at Dylan's deft maneuver, countering the power play in her father's own arena. But when they neared the topic of the lakefront land, the true game revealed itself. Imagine the opportunities with that land, her father proposed, bourbon glass swirling. Let's discuss possibilities in my study. With respectful firmness, Dylan declined. That land isn't for sale. It's a matter of promises kept and values upheld, not one for negotiation. The room's atmosphere shifted, tension thickening as her father, flushed with frustration, whispered caution. Everything has a price, son. Surely there's a number. Dylan matched him in quiet resolve. Some things, Mr. Hayes, like promises, integrity, and trust, your daughter's trust, remain invaluable. Kendra watched her father's negotiator facade crumble to that reddened expression she remembered from chaotic board meetings. Her mother clutched her glass, fingers trembling at the brink. Her father's ire broke. You've no idea how the world functions, jobs, tourism. That's progress. By paving over fertile lands, erasing heritage, Dylan countered, family farms feed communities. Tourists don't number among them. Kendra firmly held Dylan's hand under the table, finding strength in the passionate truth Dylan defended. Her mother leaned into sweetness and desperation. Kendra, surely you see reason. Consider your future, your children's. Kendra replied with calm conviction, I'm shaping our future, Mom, just not as the one you crafted. Her father's resignation was palpable as he rose sharply, chair scraping against polished wood. Walk out now, and don't expect a space here, not when dreams fade. Kendra rose, voice steady in defiance. A real space vanished long ago. But I found where I truly belong. Evening descended like a soft blanket over the Hayes farm, leaves rustling gently in the cool breeze. Kendra, once hesitant and engulfed in shadows of doubt, now felt no fear standing side by side with Dylan as they turned their backs on the grandiose mansion. Her sister, Natalie, chose that moment to break her silent watch, her voice laced with incredulity. Are you really forsaking all of this opulence for dirt and dreams? She asked, gesturing to the opulent dining room behind them. Not for dirt, but for love and purpose, Natalie, Kendra replied, a serene conviction in her tone. One day, you might see the value beyond the luxury. The aftermath of their decision reverberated through Charlotte's elite business circles like a sudden gust of wind. Kendra's father, unaccustomed to having his will defied, launched a campaign to undermine their endeavor. He pressured banks to cut off their credit, whispered doubts about the farm's financial health, and even attempted to divert Dylan's restaurant clients. But he misjudged Dylan's considerable reputation and Kendra's acumen. 2 weeks later, as Kendra sifted through the Daily Mail, she stumbled upon an imposing envelope from Apex Ventures' legal team. The proposition inside offered a compromise. They would retain half the farmland, but the lakefront would be forfeited. A note from her father accompanied this proposal, attempting to coax her with, "Be pragmatic, darling. This benefits all of us." Ready to discard it, Kendra paused as Dylan approached, tablet in hand. "Check this out," he grinned, revealing an email from a top organic distributor eager to partner exclusively with them. Their farming innovations had captured attention, and the proposed contract promised to triple their sales overnight. "This is the progress that matters," Dylan said, eyes gleaming with the joy of building something substantive. "We're creating our destiny, not some resort." That evening, Kendra penned a response, embedding welcome visuals of their thriving soil samples and glowing testimonials from co-op families. "Keep the resort dreams, Dad," she concluded. "We're building something that truly sustains." The following day brought a visitor Kendra had not anticipated. Natalie stepped out of her sleek Lexus, an incongruous sight on the gravel drive. She hesitated, surveying Kendra clad in work attire as she and Dylan prepared the produce for the farmer's market. "I can't quite grasp all this," Natalie conceded, yet sincerity underscored her words. "But you seem genuinely happy. That new partner deal is the buzz everywhere. You're making waves, Kendra, just not in the way Dad envisioned." This glimpse of understanding cracked the facade of their family's division. Natalie lingered for dinner, posing thoughtful questions about the farm, truly attentive to their vision. As she departed, she paused thoughtfully. "Maybe you could take me to the market one day." Fate, with its peculiar sense of irony, brought Kendra back to a corporate setting nearly a year later. She entered a boardroom, not as the ambitious financier she once was, but as a speaker at a sustainable agriculture conference. Their farm's journey to profitability had piqued widespread interest. From the podium, Kendra shared stories of the farm's transformation, choosing integrity over mere profit. She detailed the success of their exclusive partnerships and cooperative ventures that empowered local families, the expansion of greenhouses nurturing year-round produce. Among the crowd, a familiar figure lingered at the periphery. Her father sat discreetly, impeccably dressed, an anomaly amidst the assembly of passionate farmers and environmentalists. Their eyes met fleetingly, a silent acknowledgement devoid of spoken ties. During the Q&A, inquiries centered on methods and margins, but one young attendee cut through with a profound question: "Weren't you ever afraid to leave behind your corporate career?" Under a sky painted with early morning colors, Kendra glanced at her father, feeling a mix of past grievances and hopeful reconciliation. She had spoken candidly at the conference, sharing wisdom gleaned from her experiences. "The hardest choices often pay the biggest dividends," she had said. "Sometimes, doing what's right is more important than taking the easy road." Later, Kendra met her sister, Natalie, at a cozy cafe. An unexpected transformation had overtaken Natalie. Now she wore simple clothes and had found peace working at the farm, even joining Kendra at the farmer's market on weekends. Dad's grand resort plan unraveled, Natalie revealed, stirring her steaming latte. Investors pulled out once the lakefront's future became uncertain. Kendra chuckled, picturing their manicured mother delving into the earthy world of organic gardening as Natalie continued. She's been curious about sustainable farming, even reading up on it. Then, Natalie's tone shifted. "They miss you, you know." Dad too, though he'd never say it outright. "The house feels empty now. All that wealth seems hollow without the family together." "I never aimed to fracture us," Kendra responded softly. "I just couldn't pretend anymore." Natalie nodded, sympathy in her eyes. "They're starting to get it. Dad even described your business model as innovative at a board meeting." The unexpected arrived 2 months after the conference, a detailed environmental study commissioned by Apex Ventures. It outlined the ecological damage the resort would have caused, ending with a handwritten note from her father: "You are right about the land. Maybe it's time we talked." The following weekend, her parents' sedan navigated their dirt driveway for the first time. Kendra's mother sported jeans, a sight Kendra never imagined. Her father appeared more contemplative, subdued by their changing dynamic. As they stood awkwardly on the porch, surrounded by sustainable innovations, her father spoke gruffly: "Your mother wants to see the greenhouse." Dylan eagerly guided them through, explaining advanced hydroponic systems and vertical farming. To Kendra's surprise, her mother engaged, eagerly asking questions about the herbs she struggled with at home. Her father was mostly silent, yet occasionally nodded at the state-of-the-art irrigation, acknowledgement shining through. Dinner sourced from their own abundant produce seemed to soften the atmosphere. Breaking the silence, her father admitted, "The board is interested in delving into sustainable agriculture. They see it as an emerging market. We could learn from you." Kendra nearly dropped her fork, stunned by this unexpected olive branch. Standing firm, she replied, "We won't be selling the land." Her father nodded. "I know. It's not about that. It's about evolving with the times, thinking beyond traditional boundaries. You have a knack for that." While Dylan and her father discussed future collaborations, Kendra's mother pulled her aside. "I couldn't see it before," she confessed gently. "I thought you were abandoning everything. But seeing you here, vibrant and fulfilled, I understand." Kendra felt a wave of warmth at her mother's words. As the sun dipped beyond the fields, casting golden light over their farm, her father paused beneath the oak tree, a testament to continuity and growth. "I dedicated my life to building skyscrapers, but maybe I overlooked the power of nurturing things from the ground, teaching others how to grow and thrive. Today, the farm is a beacon of unexpected success. Besides supplying organic produce, They launched an educational program, attracting aspiring farmers and those seeking a new path. Natalie left her corporate role to lead these workshops, fully invested in their mission. Even their mother, once hesitant, became a regular visitor, slowly learning the art of cultivation. She started small with the herb garden, but now finds solace in every planted seed, a symbol of a renewed family bond. As the first light of dawn broke through the horizon, Kendra looked over the vast field of blooming flowers, each petal whispering stories of transformation. Her mother, once a fixture in designer wardrobes, now completely immersed herself in the vibrancy of gardening clothes, her attire reflecting a newfound simplicity and joy. She ran their entire flower program with a passion that sparked the community. Even local children eagerly learned floral arrangements from her thriving workshops. Her father's shift was quiet but profound, weaving sustainability into his corporate fabric. Although he hadn't left his business behind for farm life, he championed unity, bridging the gap by establishing collaborations with smaller farms through Apex Ventures. A recent lunch meeting saw him proudly unveil their updated mission statement, "Growing success from the roots up," an ethos that made Kendra's heart swell with both nostalgia and pride. Kendra often reflected with humor on how her journey began, with disbelief from her family as their meticulously groomed corporate daughter embraced rural life. And yet, what seemed misfortune at first had paved the way to profound fulfillment. Together, she and Dylan preserved not just land but a family spirit, nursing both back to vibrant health. Hosting the farm's annual harvest festival, she observed with contentment the harmony now flourishing, her father gently teaching her 3-year-old daughter how to pluck ripe strawberries, her mother crafting wildflower arrangements with young ones, while her sister, Natalie, shared stories on guided tours of their new training facility. What once threatened division had instead become a source of unity. The resort may have remained a figment of the past, but what blossomed in its absence was far more significant: mutual understanding, lasting respect, and a success story untold by traditional metrics. As the sun settled low in the sky, casting golden hues across the land, Dylan joined Kendra, his hands marked by hard work, but his face aglow with fulfillment. "Think you made the right choice?" he asked, weaving his fingers with hers, his warmth a comforting presence. Kendra watched her father playfully lifting their daughter toward the flower garden, laughter threading the air like music. The sweet aroma of ripening fruits and fresh herbs enveloped them. "I didn't choose between my family and the farm," Kendra mused, her voice filled with certainty. "I showed them how both could belong together." In retrospect, it was clear taking a leap had yielded riches beyond conventional measure. She hadn't abandoned success, she had redefined it, crafting a life infused with love, breakthrough ideas, and the true wealth of shared, purposeful living.